Hey y'all, it's me, and you already know. Like, share, and subscribe. What's up, real deal? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody doing all right. Uh, in other countries and everything, I hope everybody's doing good. Okay, we're gonna talk today about the Montgomery Riverfront Brawl. The police chief is going to speak out for the first time. But before we get into that, I want to give you a little information for some people who just not coming in, who don't watch his mess and stuff like that. Okay, this what happened on the riverboat brawl, y'all. Brawl. A brawl at a boat dock in Montgomery, Alabama, left 3 people in custody and more than a dozen questioned by authorities. Okay, after the argument turned into a physical altercation among a black co-captain of a local riverboat, a white private boaters blocking the way of the riverboat as it attempts to dock. And so what the co-captain was doing was giving them instruction that they had to move the boat, and they didn't want to, even though the captain gave them a warning and said that he was going to have to call the police. That's what happened, okay? I don't want to tell you what it is. And so what we're going to listen to, who we're going to listen to today is the police chief, okay, in the mirror. But the police chief going to really explain to y'all what happened in the incident, and how it began, and what's going to take place behind the consequences, behind the situation, okay? Thank you, DJ. So we're going to go ahead on and take a look at a couple people. There's 3 in custody, okay? And you can see him right here on the screen. You have Richard Roberts. He was 48, 2 counts of 3rd-degree assault. You got Alan Todd, 23, 1 count of 3rd-degree assault. You got Zachary Shipman, 25, 1 account of 3rd-degree assault. Okay, those 3 are in custody. Okay, there was a couple more people that I gave y'all earlier that was charged. But so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna turn it over to the captain. Well, no, this is the captain right here. Let me move this so y'all can see. Okay, this is the captain that we talked about. Who gave the information. The one who warned the people if they don't move, he was gonna call the police, and they will move this boat, yeah. And these people, this is not their first time there. And also, and this is the chief that you about to hear speak. And if you can leave your opinion and your comment inside the box.
Charged right now. Where does this investigation stand? Are there more arrests? And how difficult was it, just given just how chaotic the situation was, to kind of figure everything out?
Well, thanks for having me here today, Rob and Alex. I appreciate this opportunity to bring updates to the world on this incident. This is going viral. Of course, it's put the negative attention here in the city of Montgomery, but that's not who we are here. This city of Montgomery is a wonderful place. We have wonderful people, and it's a wonderful place to learn about the birth of the civil rights movement. And, we have all that going on in the peripheral, but, we have to make sure that we're slow and methodical and we get it right as far as this investigation. So, yes, you're right. There's a couple of arrests thus far. There's more that is likely. We'll continue to go through the tons of video evidence provided by the public, as well as interviews of individuals that were witnesses to this melee. So we're going to continue to take our time and take it in pieces, continue to consult with our local, state, and federal partners just to make sure that we're doing all we can. And as I said over and over again, no stone will be left unturned. We will look at this thing over and over until we get it right. Now, yesterday, we had the victim, and when everyone talk about the co-captain, Mr. Damian Pickett, we had him here in the office again doing another interview. And, he's just such a humble man. And look, he just want to make sure as well that we're getting it right. And his message was, we don't want anyone charged that was trying to break it up. We don't want anyone charged that was, not a combatant. And he was very adamant of that. And that speaks volumes to what he's saying and what he's thinking. So we took his statements, took other statements, and we went frame by frame on the videos that we already have. And, we've created a couple of places for individuals to drop additional video or additional witness statements to us. They can remain anonymous. But again, we want to make sure we get this right. And, the world's watching. And we're going to make sure that justice is served and that people know what Montgomery really is. And that we're going to put this behind us someday and move forward for a better Montgomery.
And one incident, no matter how viral, does not define a city.
Correct.
So your point is well taken on that. But let me say this. You can't help but to watch the video. And in many ways, the fighting did fall on racial lines. It is Alabama, and we know the racial history of that state, past and present. And on top of that, now you have a witness saying that there was some kind of racial slur hurled during the assault. And you have the captain of that riverboat saying that he believes the initial attack, the one right there with the deckhand, co-captain, was racially motivated. Are you absolutely ruling out any racial motivation behind how this fight initially began in the video we're watching right now?
Keep in mind, this investigation is fluid. We're far from complete. We're still in the early stages of it, believe it or not, although it's been several days now. We talked to Mr. Pickett and we interviewed him extensively, again, yesterday included. And right now, based on the thresholds of an investigation leading towards racial bias, it's just not there. And if it rises to that, we'll amend the charges. We're going to make it what it is. We're not going to create anything based on social media. We're not going to create anything based on anything other than what the evidence and the statements provide to us. So we're very, aware that that's circulating. But again, we're gonna drive the narrative simply because of the evidence that's presented to us, simply because of the statements that's in front of us, and we'll make the proper choice at that time. But again, all of the misdemeanor charges that we have right now, they can be amended and elevated as appropriate. So we're watching closely. We know the world's watching, and we want to make sure that we get it right.
And you're looking into that witness who may have heard a slur that's still being looked at by your office?
Yeah, there's a couple of folks that came in with, talked about some curse words and some obscene finger gestures. We're aware of that.
Of a racial nature?
They'll be getting their data. Yeah, there was some words said that was not what we would like to hear. And, again, was they?
But what he's trying to tell y'all is that when people don't been drinking and under other substances and angry and upset, they're gonna say some words that you're not gonna like that they said, because you know how that is. And he trying to get to the bottom line of it, you know what I mean? So they did charge them. So it ain't too much to do about that.
Co-captain, were they just being yelled in general? That's something we have to determine based on our investigation.
So when you take a look at this video, and I'm sure you've seen online how it kind of, just spread so quickly. There's memes, there's all these songs and things kind of coming out of that. But at the core of this is a very serious incident, and there are people that could have been seriously hurt. What is your message to people who are kind of taking this a little bit lightly, especially with the racial undertones that appear to be there, especially when you watch the video?
I think that veterans are trained, myself.
commercial, y'all. Cause I'm that's an interesting question what she just asked him. Cause I want to hear it too. I want to hear what he gonna say.
We know that right now the nation, is really paying attention to what's happening politically. Yeah, there's no doubt that former President Trump was here the day before. All of that is on our table in front of us, making sure that we're aware of those things. So we're weighing all of the evidence, and again, talking with the victim here, Mr. Pickett, making sure that he's comfortable with where we're going. But again, looking at the threshold to charge someone with a federal hate crime. I mean, we have to make sure we're within those guidelines. We want to make sure the threshold is met. At this time, we have not met it. At this time, the evidence does not meet it. So again, if it changes, we'll amend those charges. But we're looking at it very closely with a very, very strict lens, and we have everyone participating with us. Again, local, state, and federal partners.
Excuse me, the Washington Post today that the captain of that riverboat says those guys in the pontoon boat who wouldn't move initially, he had known them in the past as well. There were at least one other incident, but of a much lesser nature, some missing golf carts from the riverboat or something like that. And otherwise, there was a little bit of history between this riverboat and the guys who
Then had some interaction in the past. Never turned physical. Mostly just arguments about parking at the dock and docking where they did. So that was something that's been brought to us and that we're looking at very closely. Secondly, yeah, we look at what happened in the past and how this is supposed to be. That area is strictly reserved for that ferry boat. It's there because of the tying off the mooring requirements as well as the gangway. You have to have a place to board and disembark their vessel. So it's clearly stated and it's clearly known that that's where the Harrier 2 is supposed to be docked. So that's a problem, and that's something that we're going to make some changes here in the city for some better signage, if you will, and to just make sure that that doesn't happen again. Again, this incident, as it unfolds, we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to close it out, and then we're going to move forward.
All right, y'all. That is the police chief speaking right there, and this is the captain. Just in case you missed it, here go the captain right here. This is the captain who warned everyone to move the boat. That's the captain right there, and they wouldn't move it, so they had to call who they needed to call, to handle the business. But there you go. There you have it. You had the chief telling you what happened. That's a beautiful boat, and they out there acting the fool. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section, and have a great weekend. I'm out.